Hi, thanks so much for joining me. Today we are talking about the limited edition Hourglass palette. It is called the Lighting Edit in Surreal Light. And like I said, this is limited edition. I bought it because I love Hourglass products. I wanted to give it a try. It was limited edition. Love the packaging. It's not as sturdy feeling as the other ones, but it is still beautiful with the marble. I think I finally figured out how to read the numbers of what is where. So let's go ahead and talk about what's in here, and I will give you my first impressions. I haven't tried it yet. Like I said, I've just taken pictures of it. We've got the finishing powder in Surreal Light right here. So I will dust that all over my face in a moment. We also have a bronzer in Surreal Bronze Light, and I believe that this is a bronzer. It's a little bit hard to tell on the graphic on the back. I don't know if anyone else is having trouble, but for some reason, spatially, I can't figure it out. All right, we've also have a blush in Surreal Glow. I believe that is this right here. And then next to it is another blush in Surreal Effect right here. And I'll apply both of them and I'll layer them. We have, let's see. And then finally a Strobe Powder in Surreal Strobe Light right here. Okay, that took about 10 minutes for me to figure out what was where. So we're gonna give them a try and I'll let you know my first impressions. All right, let's give it a go. Okay, so at this point I have most of my makeup on. I've done my eye makeup. I did my lashes without falsies this time. I know my husband is not a fan of them, so I thought I'd give them a try. We're gonna do some photos later too, so I thought I would just see how big I could get my lashes without anything but I wanted to see how big I could get my lashes without anything but mascara, and I think they look okay. And so I have eye makeup on, I've got my eyebrows done. My eyebrows are kind of weird today. I feel like I don't look like me because, I don't know, they're off. Anyway, it is what it is. We're gonna keep going, and I also have my foundation on and then just a setting powder. So I have no blush, I have no bronzer. I do have a little bit of lipstick, but that's it. So we're gonna add the finishing powder. First, we're going to add bronzer and then we're going to highlight as well. So let's go ahead and give that a try. First, I'm going to use the Hourglass brush that goes with Hourglass products. I don't typically use this because of the shape. I think it's kind of funny to apply a powder because you definitely have to do a sweeping motion. I like to roll my finishing powder on, but let's go with it. Ooh, there's a lot of dust, a lot of kickoff. So just be careful that you're not doing this with a white shirt or on a white carpet. Okay, that's that. So I usually use Radiant Light, and this is much lighter than Radiant Light, but it's a nice kind of a peachy golden color. So it does complement my skin. It definitely does not give the same intensity of glow as, say, the Radiant Light does on my face, but it's still pretty. I'll definitely use it. I think it'll be good going into the fall months as I get lighter over time. Okay, we're gonna try the bronzer now. So I'm going to use this is a Luxie 504 large angled brush, and I'm just going to take this color. This is the bronzer. Okay, it looks really purpley. That's why I'm hesitating. It looks a lot like Mood Exposure, I believe is the name of the blush. It has a lot of purple in it. Okay, that also is kicking off a lot of dust, so be careful. Okay, so I'm just gonna go under. Okay, it has definitely a purpley kind of thing going, at least on my skin tone. I don't know how this will look on somebody else, but my skin has lots of yellow and some olive undertones to it, so it's coming across as more of a purpley color. Raisin color, which is not bad, it's just different. And I like to dust bronzer just along the edges of my face. Okay, definitely more subtle and not as golden as the bronzers, both bronzers that I have from Hourglass. It's not bad. Like I said, I think it probably depends on the overall colors I'll be applying to my face. If I have something cooler toned, maybe this will work. But you can see it right here and right along the edges. I like to add bronzer, especially to the temples, because the contrast between my skin and my hair, because my hair is so dark, can be a little bit stark, so I like to just kind of soften that transition a little bit. by applying it to the temples. Okay, also provides a little bit of structure. Let's go ahead and go in with the blushes. I'm going to use both of them. I'm going to layer them like I usually do if I have two blushes at my disposal. So we'll take the lighter color, and I just have a, what are you? Real Techniques blush brush. There we go. And I'm going to take the lighter color, which again is the Surreal Glow. Just dust that on. Oh, that's really pretty. It's very muted, but super natural, and I like that. Has a little bit of goldeny peach to it, even though it doesn't really look like it in the pan. You can kind of see how it's building up. It's definitely not that powdery consistency that some products can have, which turns me off to them because they settle into fine lines and things like that. But this is melting really nicely with the makeup that I already have on. So I try and just center on the apple of my cheek and then buff out. And in an upward motion as well. Okay, I like that. That's really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and just take another brush. This is a Ray Morris Deluxe Kabuki brush. And I'm going to concentrate the more intense color, which is Surreal Effect. This one right here, the bright kind of bright pink color right there, and just center that on the apples. Actually a little bit. So I'm going to take it, see where my eye ends right here, I'm going to apply it right under the apple of the cheek in that general area. And then I'm going to take my bigger blush brush and just fluff them together so there's a seamless transition between the two colors. Okay, that way you get a little bit of pop of color, you get some dimension to your blush without having to either just have a flat, it's not flat though, without having a one-dimensional color. You can add that pop just to make it a little bit more interesting. And then buff it in. Okay, so that, I love the blush. I love that, that's really pretty. Okay, and finally we are going to go in with the Strobe Powder and Surreal Strobe Light. And it is a really pretty golden color, very bronzy, which I think is interesting because the finishing powder looks lighter than it and the Strobe Powder looks way more bronzy. But let's give it a try and see what happens. So I love the Hourglass Strobe Powders because, again, if you have fine lines, things like that, this does not emphasize them. A lot of highlighters can do that. So I'm just gonna dust that on the high points with this Nars brush. I forget the name, but I will insert it for you. Let's see, oh yeah, you can definitely see that right there with the light hitting it. Pretty. All right, there we go. I have all 5 products on. Let's see, let's just review what we had. So we had the finishing powder. I'm not sure how much that did for me, but maybe it's the subtle thing, I don't know. And subtle's good, so if I wanna go with a subtle finishing powder, this one's pretty because it does have like a goldeny, peachy tone to it, which I think complements my skin. I love the blushes. I especially love this really light one because sometimes when you have a light color and you have, again, some color to your skin already, it can be hard for color to appear. But this one was really nice. It just had a nice glow to it. And then the Surreal Effect blush was beautiful. I don't think I would use this all over my cheek, but I would definitely pop it right here like I did in order to enhance what I already had on. And then the I don't know about the bronzer though. I'm gonna have to play around with this a little bit more to see if that's something I would really use because I'm much happier with the bronzers I already have. And finally the Surreal Strobe Light. I think that actually might be my favorite one. It's subtle again. If you don't like subtle highlight, then maybe you won't love this as much, but I think it's beautiful. I think I will definitely be using this. Again, you can see it show up right there. yes, I will definitely be using this palette, and we'll see how it works throughout the month. I will include it in the list the next time so you can kind of get a little review of how I've been using it. I like to give products a good try, probably, you know, a month before I decide whether I like it or not. But with Hourglass products, I haven't really found anything where I'm not happy with it. I love their powders. I love other products that I have by them. So if you are interested in this, if you can get your hands on it, I would go ahead and do that. If you have coloring like mine, I definitely recommend it. So if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Hi, and thanks again for joining me. Today we are talking about the Hourglass palette. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Oh, okay. In Surreal Light. No. It's backwards too. All right, so and then we've got a blush over here. No, we don't. We have, yes, we do. Why is this so confusing? That doesn't make sense. Okay, let's start over. And I believe that must be this one. Okay, and that blush is right over here. Here? Did I just say that's the bronzer? Oh my gosh, I'm so confused. And that should be next to number 1. I'm smart, I swear. Why can't I figure this out? Okay, I'm gonna pause it and see if I can figure it out. Holy